For your GCSE exams, it is of course important to use punctuation as effectively and accurately as possible. We're talking here for both question 5s in both papers. So that will be your story, your piece of description, or your article, letter, or speech. 16 marks out of the total 40 marks for the writing tasks are to do with what the exam board call technical accuracy or written accuracy, which includes spelling, punctuation, and grammar. And of course, you're not going to fail the qualification if you forget to use a full stop or you forget to use a comma, etc. But it is in your best interest, of course, to use punctuation as much as you can and effectively as you can. Part of the proofreading exercise for both question 5s should be with punctuation in mind, and to just quickly scan through your writing and be able to slot in, if you need to, any punctuation that you might have missed when you wrote it to begin with. If you look at the mark scheme for both question 5 of both papers, in order to get the two top levels here out of 16, you either need to use a wide range of punctuation with accuracy or a range of punctuation, mostly with success. So what does this mean? It means that the more punctuation you use accurately, the higher the mark. And of course, you want to get as many marks as possible for these qualifications. So using a wide range of punctuation or a range of punctuation is important. So the question then is, how can you make sure that you do this? So one of the ways, if you would like to see my amazing drawing skills here, is to draw yourself something like this in the exam. As you can see, I call this a punctuation face. And as you can see with my labelling here, that I've pretty much got all the main types of punctuation to make up the face's body parts. Now, some students think this is very primary school. They think it's, not befitting a GCSE. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to see your paper except the examiner. The paper is marked anonymously, so they won't know it's you. And at the end of the day, you've got to do things that work for you and are clear and simple and get you as many marks as possible. So this is not about your street cred. This is not about your popularity. This is about making sure that you do whatever you can in order to pass these exams. So drawing yourself a little doodle like this at the top of your exam paper for question 5 might remind you of what punctuation to use, and then you can tick it off if you want to once you've used them. Obviously, this video, I'm not going to go through what this punctuation is. I'm assuming that you're already confident with these punctuation marks. So the last thing I want to show you in this relatively short video is a small piece of narrative writing. This is a story. And as you can see in these 3 paragraphs, the student has used 8 types of punctuation, which I have labelled here down the left-hand margin. So this is a wide range of punctuation, and the punctuation that has been used has also been used effectively. So the examiner has no choice but to award you a level 4 for your punctuation at least, because you have met that requirement. To use 8 different types of punctuation in a relatively short space of writing does prove beyond doubt that you can use a punctuation effectively, and you're confident enough to use a range of punctuation effectively as well. Now what you could do is you could afford perhaps to use half of this. So let's say instead of using 8 types of punctuation, the student only showed 4 types. That's still effective. So 8 is just a number that I've picked out of a hat here. But as long as you can use something other than full stops, then you're going to start to go up the mark scheme in terms of punctuation. So a short video all about trying to use as much punctuation as possible, a range of punctuation, but also to try and use it effectively and accurately as well.